Greetings, wholeness. Welcome to episode 28 of Hex and Harmony. Here with my sisters, and today we are going to talk about the energies of money and work. We currently live in a world, pun intended, that requires us to provide some type of exchange for most services, products, or ideas. While originally the exchange was that of a barter system, and the powers that be gained control, the system began to lose its merit and became a race to who has the most toys. While not everyone participates at that level, we are in some respects expected and forced to abide by these rules. Luxuries that previous centuries dwellers no longer can go next door with a bushel of tomatoes and trade them for suits or lessons in a foreign language. We are now forced to use pieces of paper or pieces of metal. The exchange has become one of almost no value in today's world where money can just be printed pretty much at whim. So that leads us to the questions of what is work and what is money? So start off, my first question to my sisters is, how do you feel about money?
Michelle, would you like to take that one first?
I can. I feel like money is just money. It is what it is. I mean, it's a form of energy like everything is. And money itself is not good. Money is not bad. It just exists. And we label it as good or bad. We, in our human limitations with how we see things and how we interact with things, put value on it, but it just is. And we do, as you said, live in a society where we put this value on money and use it for our energetic exchanges. But even if we weren't using that for our exchanges, if we were back in a barter system, that's still an energetic exchange. The barter system is. Everything we do has to have an energetic exchange in order to have reciprocity in our dealings. But the society we live in, that is our accepted energy exchange. So wanting money is not bad, because we have to have it for our own energetic exchanges to pay for the things that we need to survive. So it just is. And a lot of us have this fucked up view of money, that it's bad because we've just been programmed to think that it's greedy to want money and that there's something wrong with us if we try to get more money and that we're bad people. But money is just energy, and there's not a finite amount of it. Just because I have more doesn't mean there's less for you. I mean, it's there. We can all have more. It just is. And I'm just going to stop right now because I could go on for our whole entire episode talking about that. And that's not what we want this to be. So stop now.
I guess, okay, just in response to some of the things Michelle said before I get into my own relationship with money, is that money is a finite resource. I mean, if you have more, it does mean that there's less for other people. And I don't mean you, Michelle. I mean you, the mega, zillionaires out there. The more they scoop up, the less there is for everybody else. It is it's not, infinitely available money.
Not necessarily, because of the value we place on it. But the problem with that isn't that money is or is not finite. The problem with that is the hoarding mentality, and that creates other issues.
And the greed. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
If you let it
All of that.
flow, if you don't just hoard it and say, I want more and I'm never going to spend it, I'm just going to put it in my bank account and do nothing with it, that
Mhm.
creates an energetic imbalance. And that's where problems come in. But if you want more and you're spending it and you're doing good things with it and you just let it flow into your coffers and out of your coffers, there's going to be more that comes into you, and it's just going to go where it needs to go, kind of deal, because you're not trying to control it. It's like if you're holding on to water, it's going to seep out of the cracks and the crevices in between your fingers, and you can't hold on to it. You can refuse to spend it, but then it's just going to decay and do nothing, and that's just creates death energy. But if you just let it flow freely, then most of those problems resolve themselves.
Yeah, that's true. If you keep the money flowing and not hoard it and keep it. So I can agree with that. But I was just going to say my relationship with money, for better or worse, is I have kind of a laissez-faire attitude about money. And it's probably very naive, I admit that, but I just always assume it's going to be there when I need it. And knock on wood, it usually is. I mean, when I need it, it's there from somewhere, wherever. It's there. And on the downside of that, it means that I don't hoard lots of money. I don't save tons of money because I just assume it's going to be there when I need it. And I know that's not the most mature financial attitude and all that kind of stuff, but that's just kind of how my life has always went. When I needed the money, it was there, So I have everything I need, and I really have everything I want, as long as I don't want things that are superfluous and, ultra luxurious. I don't want $1 million mansion. I don't want those kind of things. So, I truly and honestly believe if I really, really, really wanted it, I'd be able to get it somehow, just through the laws of attraction and my relationship with the universe. If it was something I really, desperately actually wanted or needed, it would be there. So that's my relationship with money.
Yeah, I agree with both sides, both points. I also feel it's definitely energy, but I'm looking forward to the day. I hope I'm around to see it when we go back to bartering.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
absolutely no problem with the barter economy at all. My issue right now is the people who say that we should completely just stop charging for anything within a spiritual community. And it's like,
No, that's great.
we can't do that because that's not the society we live in. We can get back to that kind of a society. And I'm not saying I'm against us getting back to that kind of society, but until we do, we have to live and operate in the society that we have while we're actively working to change it. But until it changes, we still have to eat. We still have to have a roof over our head and clothes on our back. So it's not wrong to want money, and it's not wrong to charge for our gifts, because many times we had to spend money to be trained in our energetic spiritual gifts.
Right.
So how is that any different when we go to use them? It's not.
True.
Okay. So, how do you all feel about your work? And firstly, are you happy with your work?
Well, I don't work, so I can't answer that.
You
My
do
work
work,
is,
you
well, my
write.
work is my writing. Yeah, and I'm very happy with that. I mean, with just the work itself, yes, I would love to be more widely read by people. I would love to sell 1 million books. And it's really hard to explain to my writer friends. A lot of them think I'm lying, but the truth is, I don't care about making $1 million on my books. I'm not writing the books to make money. I'm writing the books for a creative outlet. And I want everybody to buy my books, but not because I want them to give me money, but because I just want them to read my stuff. I want a community, of readers who enjoy what I write.
Right.
So it's more the reciprocal energy, like you were saying. I mean, I could give all my books for free, but like Michelle just said, we have to have food in our in our bellies and roofs over our heads. So I can't give my books away for free, but I'm not trying to get rich,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, I just can't call up the electric company and say, here's some love and light. Let's give that in exchange for the power for my house for this month. It don't work that way.
Yeah.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Right.
Because I do need the electricity to turn on my computer in order to do my writing.
Right.
So, there's that.
Yeah.
Can't eat love and light.
Right.
For me, with what I do with my day job, I like the actual work. There's aspects of my job that I don't like, but that's true for anybody. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not going to downgrade what I do or anything because, one, I'm a librarian. I love working in a library. I love what libraries stand for and everything. Mm-hmm. There are political issues going on that make it very challenging and demanding to be a librarian in the United States in 2026, which is very sad that we're in that kind of a situation, but we are. And that's mainly the types of things that I don't like about my job. But overall, what I do in managing and operating a public library that is a nonprofit organization, for the most part, I like what I do. Now, for my own business as a coach and as a spiritual teacher, I really enjoy that work. And it's funny that we're talking about this topic tonight because over the past few months, my work has actually shifted more towards supporting people coming out of the struggle with money, because there are so many people who do have a toxic relationship with money because of the societal structure that we live in and the conditioning that we've received around the ideas of money and wealth. And a lot of people, when they look at their finances, tend to spiral and panic. And so, not because I planned it this way, but because it just happened this way, over the past several months, my work has shifted more towards that kind of work and supporting people in that. I would have never chosen consciously to do that, but it just happened. And so I believe that's a divine whatever, that's what I'm supposed to be talking about in my work at this point in my life for whatever reason, because people need to hear it. So very appropriate that we're talking about this tonight. I didn't plan it, just so y'all know.
I'm kind of like Tegan, if I could, I would do it for free, but like we all said, we have to eat and we need housing and shelter and clothing. So I enjoy it, but algorithm is not my friend. So just
Whoa, is it
attempting
not?
to get it out, get people to see it, look at it, whatever, be interested. So,
And I think that we all would do our work for free if we could, if that's the type of society we lived in where everybody's job was supporting everybody else in some way,
right.
so that we all lived in mutual harmony, and then we could just do our work for the sheer joy of doing our work, and it benefited other people, knowing that the things we needed would be taken care of by other people who were doing their work for the sheer joy and pleasure of it. We're not there yet.
Right.
So, but we can be one day.
One day. One day. So, let's see. Do you all feel okay with using the craft to help you with your money or work? I'll answer first. I do, as long as you're not hurting anybody, unless they hurt you first. But that's a whole other story. But as long as, it's not hurting anybody, I think it's okay to use it to help create abundance or, create peace and harmony at your place of employ if you have one, to keep the negativity away, those type of things.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, why would you not use all the tools in your tool belt to survive? There's
Exactly.
nothing wrong with using your practice to help bring in money. I don't see how it could hurt anybody.
Right.
I use the craft all the time in my financial situation and in my work. So it's like Tegan said, why would you not? If you have a tool, why would you not use it? I mean, otherwise you're just hoarding tools, whether they're physical tools or spiritual tools or whatever. And I already talked a little bit about the energy around hoarding things. I mean, it goes for everything. It's not just physical objects, or it's not just money that we can hoard. We can hoard spiritual trainings and spiritual tools. If you learn these things and collect these things, but you don't use them for yourself or other people, what is the point? What is the point?
Yeah, the universe wants you to have money.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with using the knowledge that you have in the craft to help the universe get you some money.
Right.
Let me help you help me to pay my electric bill this month. Yeah.
Does anybody have any rituals or spells that they might want to share or discuss regarding helping with money or work?
Well, I mean, there's the money bowl, and there's just little practices like carrying a tiny piece of adventurine in your wallet to help draw money into your wallet, and
Michelle,
a sigil or whatever. If you want to talk about big, huge spells, then I would have to, I don't know, I would have to write one up real quick.
Spells I generally do, as we all know, I love candle magic and whatever. So I'll get a green or a gold or a silver candle, whatever I have handy. When all else fails, I use white. But I will just carve money or dollar signs or some kind of symbol or the amount of money I want, or if it's a job I'm looking for, job, career, clients, whatever, into the candle. Just carve it in and then burn the candle. Sometimes I anoint it with some kind of oil or whatever. Sometimes I don't. But yeah, I also have a candle that I've purchased from a friend who makes candles. I bought it specifically to be a candle for my business and attracting new clients into my business. And it's made with a wooden wick. And she wrote a spell on the wick to draw in new clients. And so every time I burn that candle when I'm doing my work, then it's sending that energy of attracting new clients into the universe. So
that is very cool. One piece of advice I would give for people who want to do a spell to get some money, I would not limit my wish for a dollar amount. Like if you need $300 to pay your rent, I would not do a spell for $300. I would do a spell for enough money to pay my rent, or just money to pay my rent, because maybe the universe can find a way to get you $500 or $700. You know, I would not limit it to a specific amount when I was doing any kind of spell.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm like Michelle. I do candles for whatever it is, and then another thing I do in addition is I'll like write a little petition or desire on a piece of paper and fold it and put it underneath the candle and burn that on a regular basis.
there are so many things you can do with candles. They're just so easy to work with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I'm like, I don't need tools, but if I'm going to have one, it's going to be candles.
Right. Have you ever created a money bowl or a money jar? Or would you recommend this to others? I know you already said that was one recommendation.
Yeah, I mean, a money jar is a great little thing to have next to you, next to your, desk. If you're working, if you make money by things you do at your desk, or, just somewhere that it can draw things to you.
I have, and I would again. It's not generally my go-to, but I'm not opposed to it. It just depends on what's going on in my life at the time. If I have the time, energy, and space for it, because I have to have somewhere to put it and leave it. So right now I don't have an altar set up in my home, and I can't have all these witchy things at work. So I have to have things that don't overtly look witchy or whatever, because I work in very, very, very conservative Christian areas.
Yes.
So I have to be careful about the things I have, even in my own office, because as the director, people come into my office for whatever, if they want to complain, or if they want to give us a donation or whatever. And I certainly don't want to offend somebody who's there to give us money.
Right.
Because even though it's not my money, I solicit donations and gifts for the library. So I don't want somebody to come in with the idea that they're going to write a $10,000 check and then see money bowl on my desk and be like, nope, not happening. And then they turn around and walk out and then talk about the evils going on in the public library. Not great. Because you never know where I work. That kind of thing could happen. So, I just don't have any overtly witchy type things there. So, I have done them, and I would do them again when the time is right and when I have the space for it. Because you always have to be aware of what's going on around you, kind of thing. Not that I'm saying you have to necessarily hide your craft, but sometimes you just do.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's part of the witch's pyramid, is to be silent. You don't have to advertise what you're doing.
Right.
Exactly.
For your personal self.
So, Tegan, you mentioned aventurine. What other crystals or herbs would you all suggest to use to create a money bowl or a money jar?
Okay. Well, jade is really, I mean, you want to look at your green, green stones. I mean, jade is very good for good luck and for protecting your money once you have it. Pyrite, which people call fool's gold, it mimics gold, and so in sympathetic magic, pyrite can draw, you know, money and abundance, things like that. Adventurine, and you've got definitely basil. Basil is known as the money plant. So
Right.
a few basil leaves in there, some mint, bay leaf, rosemary.
I also sometimes use citrine or yellow fluorite. Sometimes on the bay leaf, I'll write petition or desire on the bay leaf and put it in the bowl.
Yeah, bay leaves are really good to like draw your sigil on and put it down at the bottom of your money jar.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you don't like writing sigils, you just say money, wealth, success.
Right.
I like to always include a clear quartz for amplifying the energy of everything else that's in there. I don't think you mentioned cinnamon, but I like to put cinnamon in mine for fast money and success, and cloves because they attract riches and prosperity. Ginger is also good for adding power and speed to financial goals, so I like to put those in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything else that I generally use as go-tos when I use things like that have already been mentioned. And malachite, because it's green and it's one of my favorite crystals.
Yeah. Do you feel that issues and or concerns with money are due to blocks? Why or why not?
I think, I mean,
yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Not all the time, but it definitely could cause if you have some kind of issue or even past life issues with money. It you know, that's something to explore. I don't think it's just an automatic explanation.
Yeah, you could have, like, in a past life made a vow of poverty, and that's still following you in the present life. Or you could have, I don't know, there's all kinds of things in past lives that could still be affecting your financial situation in this life. But
yeah, I mean, you could have mishandled money very badly in your past life, and now you're trying to make it up, and, you know, who knows?
You could have used money or wealth or riches to, like, hurt people in a past life, and now you're in this life suffering as a result of that. But I think that if it is something like that, a past life thing or a block, and you identify what it is, that you can clear it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not stuck in that pattern forever. It's not like, oh, this is just atonement for some past deed in a past life and you can never get out of it in this life and you're just meant to suffer. No, you can change it. It's going to take work, but you can do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything daily that you do to help with money or work?
Not, I mean, no, I have to say no. I don't have a daily practice for money.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, if
I mean, I work
have...
every day, but I don't have a magical practice that I do every day.
if I don't have a daily protection practice like we talked about last time, then of course I don't have a daily money practice. Although I've gotten better, I still haven't gotten a daily protection, but I've gotten better. I've done it more frequently than not in the last few weeks since we last chatted. So.
Oh, good.
I do in the evening do something with candles and a note or something to keep energy towards something.
It would be a good experiment to like try to do a little something every day and see what changes.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice on how to not get caught up in, like Michelle said, the money hoarding or the money spiral where it just becomes overwhelming or too controlling?
Well, I really like what you guys were talking about viewing money as simply a form of energy. And, you know, when you buy things or sell things, you look at it as an energy exchange and, you know, not look at it as I need to make a ton of money. You know, if you view it as a healthy, positive energy exchange, I think that kind of fosters a better attitude towards money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
A healthier attitude, I guess you'd say.
Now I have financial goals with my business, like how much money I would like my business to make for me, but I'm not sitting here saying, woe is me because I'm not there yet, or I'm not frantically trying to force it to happen, because it will happen or it won't happen. I'm just letting it flow how it comes, but I'm not taking action with my business either. Because if I have a goal, I have to do something to reach that goal. I can't just say, I want to achieve this and then sit back and wait for it to happen, because shit don't happen like that. But, yeah, I mean, I do things and things happen or they don't based on what the universe has for me. And I'll get what I'm supposed to have, and I know that I'm not going to starve or be homeless or whatever. I mean, yeah, I don't know how to explain that. I mean, yes, I need amounts of money for different things. It may take me longer to get it, or it might take me less longer to get it at different times. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not explaining that well.
Yeah, okay. You understand.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, what you're saying basically is money is not always on the top of your mind.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean,
some days it's more important than others.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be without the things I need. I mean, I might not get everything I want right when I want it, but I'm not starving. I'm not naked. I'm not homeless. I'm not this, that, or the other. So, I mean, yeah, would I like to have more money so that ultimately I can do more for the world? Yes, I want to be at a point where all of my needs and basic comforts and things are met, and then I can also actively give. And I mean, I do give and I do whatever, and I don't hoard my money kind of thing, but I want to be able to do more. That I need money to be able to do that more.
Right.
But when it's my time to do it, I'll have it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if I don't have it right now to do more, then it's not my time to do more. But I believe it'll come.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, this is not directed toward you, Michelle. It was just something that popped in my head while you were talking. One thing I think that we should mention is, because before I said the universe wants us to have money, it wants to send us money. Step one of allowing the universe to provide for you those things. And it's not just money, but it's, you know, the things, the trappings, the things we want versus the things we need, all that kind of stuff. The first step is gratitude. You know,
Exactly.
if you show gratitude for what you already have, you're more likely to get more.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
And I don't understand why people don't get that, but it's like if you give somebody a sandwich because they're hungry and they turn their nose up at that sandwich, you're not likely to give them something else because they're hungry. But if they profusely thank you for that sandwich, whatever, then if you have a fried chicken dinner tomorrow, you're likely to give them that fried chicken dinner because they were grateful for that sandwich that you gave them today. Kind of deal. It's the same way with the universe. If you're not thankful for what you have, then why is it going to give you more?
Right.
I mean, if you go around, I hate my house, I hate my house, I hate my house, I hate where I live. The universe is not, I mean, and if you treat it with disrespect, your house, then the universe is very less likely to help you get a better house.
Right.
But if you love the house you have and you respect it and all, you know, all those kind of things, then it'll be a lot easier for the universe to help you get a better house.
Right. Okay. Do you ever use tarot or oracle cards or any other type of divination for rituals, for work, or money?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't really think so. I mean, I may use tarot to say what is the best direction to go with my next, you know, my next book or whatever. But I don't know. I don't think I've ever really used it for specifically money related things.
Except your work is your money.
Yeah.
I sometimes use cards to I station them near my money bowl or under my money bowl to help with whatever energy I'm seeking to bring about more abundance.
I mean, cards are not my general go-to tool, but I do use them, and I do sometimes use them to ask questions around money or my business or my day job or whatever. So yeah, again, if it's a tool I have, why wouldn't I use it for? And maybe not for money specifically, if that's not something you use it for, but you use it for something, surely, because why wouldn't you use the tools you have? So it kind of goes back to that. But yeah.
And my last question is, what do you do if and when you find money, be it on the street or in your pocket or anywhere?
I thank the universe for providing, no matter how much it is.
Gratitude.
I came out of the doctor's office with my husband a couple weeks ago, and while he was in his appointment, I was sitting in the lobby, and I can't remember what I was saying, something about I am open to money in all its amounts or all its forms or whatever.
Mhm.
And then we left, and there was a quarter on the
Oh,
ground
Mm.
right next to the tire of my car. And let me tell
wow.
Yep.
you, I saw that quarter, I picked up that quarter, and I sat there and I said, "Thank you, universe, for this 25 cents,
Mm.
because this is 25 cents I did not have. And
That's
thank
right.
you for providing me 25 cents."
Yeah, that was just like a little sign that the universe heard you.
I know.
Yep.
And then 2 minutes
Nice.
later, I was at work and there was a nickel on the floor, and it was
See?
like we were not even open yet. And
Mhm.
I was like, obviously, nobody just dropped this nickel that I could say, "Hey, drop this coin." But I was like, "Thank you, universe. This is 5 more cents. Thank you." So I'm like, yeah, I will be thankful for whatever amount I get.
Right. Yeah, I'll do the same.
I mean,
Anybody?
obviously, if I'm in the store and I see it fall out of somebody's pocket, I don't just pick
Right.
it up and keep it. I give
Right.
it back to
Right.
them. But if there's nobody around or no way to know whose it is, then I keep it, and I am thankful and gracious
Right.
for it.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to add or share about money or work?
I think we covered a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. So, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Thank you for coming. Please come back again. Leave us a comment. Leave us a message. And we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.